Brought to you by Penguin.
The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik. Read by Anisha Dadia.
Chapter 1. The Yurt. The last thing Orion said to me, the absolute bastard, was, "Elle, I love you so much." And then he shoved me backwards through the gates of the Scholomance, and I landed thump on my back in paradise, the soft grassy clearing in Wales that I'd last seen 4 years ago, ash trees in full green leaf and sunlight dappling through them. And Mum right there waiting for me. Her arms were full of flowers, poppies for rest, anemones for overcoming, moonwort for forgetfulness, morning glories for the dawn of a new day. A welcome home bouquet for a trauma victim, meant to ease horror out of my mind and make room for healing and for rest. And as she reached to help me, I heaved myself up, howling, "Orion!" and sent the whole thing scattering before me. A few months, eons ago, while we'd still been in the midst of our frantic obstacle course runs, an enclaver from Milan had given me a translocation spell in Latin, the rare kind that you can cast on yourself without splitting yourself into bits. The idea was that I'd be able to use it to hop around from one place to another in the graduation hall. All the better to save people like enclavers from Milan, which is why she'd handed me a spell worth 5 years of mana for free. You couldn't normally use it to go long distances, but time was more or less the same thing as space, and I'd been in the Scholomance 10 seconds before. I had the hall visualized as crisp and clear as an architectural drawing, complete with the horrific mass of patients and the horde of Maleficaria behind it, boiling its way towards us. I was placing myself at the gates, right back where I had been when Orion had given me that final shove. But the spell didn't want to be cast, putting up resistance like warning signs across the way. Dead end, road washed out ahead. I forced it through anyway, throwing mana at it, and the casting rebounded in my face and knocked me down like I'd run straight into a concrete wall. So I got back up and tried the exact same spell again, only to get pasted flat a second time. My head was ringing bells and noise. I crawled back to my feet. Mum was helping me up, but she was also holding me back, saying something to me, trying to slow me down, but I only snarled at her. Patience was coming right at him! And her hands went slack, sliding off me with her own remembered horror. It had already been 2 minutes since I'd been dumped out. 2 minutes was forever in the graduation hall, even before I'd packed it full of all the monsters in the world. But the interruption did stop me just banging my head against the gates repeatedly. I spent a moment thinking, and then I tried to use a summoning to get Orion out instead. Most people can't summon anything larger or with more willpower than a hair bubble. But the many summoning spells I've unwillingly collected over the years are all intended to bring me one or more hapless screaming victims, presumably to go into the sacrificial pit I've incomprehensibly neglected to set up. I had a dozen varieties, and one of them that let you scry someone through a reflective surface and pull them out. It's especially effective if you have a gigantic cursed mirror of doom to use. Sadly, I'd left mine hanging on the wall of my dorm room. But I ran around the clearing and found a small puddle of water between 2 tree roots. That wouldn't have been good enough ordinarily, but I had endless mana flowing into me, the supply line from graduation still open. I threw power behind the spell and forced the muddy puddle smooth as glass, and staring down at it called, "Orion! Orion Lake! I call you in the—" I took a quick glance up at the first sunlight and sky I'd seen in 4 years of longing for them, and the only thing I could feel was desperate frustration that it wasn't dawn or noon or midnight or anything helpful. Waxing hours of the light to come to me from the dark shadowed halls, he
Sample complete. Ready to continue?